Hello, hello, and welcome back to my strictly unprofessional YouTube channel dedicated to perfumes that is called Sniffing Around. And we're in the beginning of June, and it means that one of the greatest supplier of roses, Bulgaria, is having a major national event this time, which is called the Rose Festival. It takes place close to the city of Kazanlak. I've seen so many varieties of the spelling. And it is located 60 kilometers to the south from big city of Plovdiv. And the reason why I decided to talk about it is not because I'm a huge rose fan, which I am, but because of the fact that rose initially brought me to perfumery, and the first scent ever I remember is Bulgarian rose, or damask rose, is it's properly called. So my grandmother had this travel case, which exactly says Bulgaria and Plovdiv, and it held inside a little tester of a rose oil produced in Kazanlak. And so recently I've been reading a book by Dominic Rock, who is one of the most famous providers of natural ingredients in the industry. And he was telling a marvelous story of how the rose perfume industry as a whole was restored in post-Soviet Bulgaria. It's a very good read regarding many ingredients, not only rose. I strongly recommend this to you. I will put the cover here. But today we're gonna discuss not only the vintage rose perfumes, but mainly the modern reading, the Eastern reading of rose. And if you scroll through the Instagrams of the famous perfume brands like Amouage, for example, they are all now in the season of collecting rose petals for their wonderful smells. So Amouage has recently posted about collecting roses from their suppliers, and I'm pretty much sure that soon most of the Bulgarian Instagrams from my friends will be covered with this festival. But anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about 6 of my favorite rose smells. So, if we try to describe the rose scent profile, what does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? To me, it's mostly a smell of a strong woman, I would say. A smell of something very classy, chic, traditional, like you go into the, fancy theater in Paris, all dressed up, your little black dress, or, for a man, something really strong, like a black tie and a costume and stuff like that. And I think that rose is more associated with women rather than men, but I know many men who proudly wear rose scents. And if we speak of the damask rose, which is the one they mostly work with in Bulgaria, this is described as powdery, spicy, rich, enveloping, well, something normally associated with luxury. And I remember clearly this grandma's scent. She's been hiding it from me, and I was trying to find analog for such a long time. Despite the fact it was a perfume oil, I even had a small sprayer that it was inside of it, but it was so old that it got stuck and I couldn't open it, but it really still smells of it. It's super powdery, and also it reminds me of the wood it's made from. I'm not sure what's the exact wood, but it's super rosy, woody scent. And so I was trying to find a similar one. And to me, the perfect depiction of a rose in perfumery is Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. I got it from the Discovery set of Frederic Malle that I bought. It had 6 sprayers, 6 testers, and I honestly use them all. I really, really love this brand. I have another perfume from them, En Passant, which smells of lilac. Watch my other video about lilac. But here I'm going to talk about A Portrait of a Lady and why it reminds me of the real authentic rose that my grandma had. So first of all, I was really inspired by the name Lady. That's what rose is for me, as I told you, something posh, luxurious, all dressed up. And Portrait of a Lady really has a lot of woody notes in it. Apart from rose, in the top notes, there is also clove and cinnamon. And in the middle notes and base notes, we also have sandalwood and a lot of, incense, benzoin, cedar, even, amber is mentioned there. And I don't even need to spray it, but this is super classy. And normally when anyone smells it, they say like, oh, grandma's scent, but I really love this because it was exactly the one I was searching for. And honestly, I used this travel case that my grandma had to store my one here, and I take it with me to the trips. I really think of a full bottle for a Portrait of a Lady, but I'm so ashamed because I also have 2 big bottles of other rose perfumes I will be talking about later in this video. So kinda now I'm satisfied with the testers, but I kind of think it's almost over, and I'm really looking forward to buying another discovery set and maybe splitting the rose with someone, because as I told you before, not many people enjoyed this set, and I can read you the reviews from Fragrantica that are on my screen right now. Smells like an old woman's bathroom. Maybe I need to let it sit longer. And I don't know, the reviews on Fragrantica are always super weird, but this, like, people speak of bathroom all the time, or old women, but like the review that I like, it says that this is a subtle, dark rose top note with a pungent, powdery base of spices and incense. And that's what I love about the rose scents, and that's why I loved Portrait of a Lady. It's super dark and sophisticated. Another iconic rose that I have in my wardrobe is Musc Noble by Guerlain. And it's from their series L'Absolu d'Orient, Absolutes of Orient. And I really want all of the perfumes from this series, apart from patchouli, which I hate. I don't really like the note of patchouli when it's a standalone note. But I have a huge bottle, 100 mils, and I'm not sure. I do have another 100 mils in my collection, but normally I prefer to buy the small ones. But this is so iconic. I really needed a full bottle. I'm not sure you can see the dent, but it's almost like 1/3 used. I'm using this so much in winter. And again, my opinion never coincides with people from Fragrantica and general reviews collected by ChatGPT, because most of the people think Musc Noble is about to be like a rose air freshener, same as some of my favorite marine scents. I don't really understand why people think of that. Probably those are the scratchy saffron and aldehydes at the top, but we are speaking of an oriental perfume. This should be, saffrony, peppery, and rose is normally combined with pink pepper. But here, the aldehydes and the musk can really sound, this kind of maybe something familiar, which makes people think of air fresheners or other perfumes that they had in their childhood. But to me, Musc Noble is really noble perfume, and it's also suitable for the nightwear. And in the comments, I've even seen that many men wear it as a nighttime perfume as well. And to me, Musc Noble is not at all about the musk, although I really love the musk perfumes and I'm recently really into them, and I'm currently searching for my signature musk scent. But this is not musky in terms of what we think of musk normally. It's like not enveloping, not cozy. No, it's brutal, it's animalic, and it really, provokes you. To me, if you wear, a black dress, red lips, this is the perfect scent. And I'm so sad that they replaced it with Rose Amira in this collection. I completely dislike Rose Amira. It has no character. It's not that sharp. I would never buy it in 100 milliliters. I would not even decant it. So no, to me, Musc Noble is an iconic rose perfume from Guerlain, if you love this brand. Another rose perfume in a full bottle that I have here is Epic by Amouage. And I know that this is not meant to be a rose perfume because mostly their rose perfume is lyric, not epic. But I will explain why I chose Epic. So this is, again, my favorite rose profile, another favorite. Not a classy one, but a spicy one. And all of its top notes, caraway, cinnamon, are spices. While in the Lyric Woman, it's mostly ginger, bergamot, so it's a little bit more acidy, PC, if you kind of get it. And it doesn't blend that well with my skin chemistry, and I can't really wear it. But Epic Woman, I think, I really love Amouage. It's one of my favorite brands. I own a lot of decants and perfumes from Amouage. But this one is a masterpiece. So, by the way, it's the only one that clearly mentions damask rose as the ingredient. It has a crazy pyramid, I will put it here. It has so much going on, but I mostly feel like when you sniff it from the perfume bottle, it's super spicy. It's caraway, it's agarwood, it's patchouli, it's sandalwood, quackwood, whatever the wood. It's all the spices, some of the geranium probably. I don't really smell cinnamon, but I'm kind of blind to this note. But as soon as you spray it on your skin, it's such a pure, beautiful rose with a little hint of geranium. And one of the advantages of Amouage, and disadvantages at the same time, that it stays on your skin literally forever. If you ever spray it on your clothing, you will never be able to wash it off. It's eternal. So, choosing between Epic and Lyric, to me, Epic is much more classy, and I also really dislike the Epic 56 version, which is a perfume concentrate, because it's super sharp and it gets some bitterness in it, while this is a pure rose with insane sillage. So if you prefer longevity, if you love Eastern perfumery, Amouage has insanely good sources of rose. You can read through their Instagram. They pick it up very carefully. So to me, Epic is a perfect choice. Yes, it is expensive, but you will enjoy it forever. You just literally need 2 sprays, and that's it. It stays on you until the very evening. By the way, I always say that people never compliment perfumes because it's embarrassing and they don't really want to mess around and stuff like that. But I got many compliments on this exact perfume. It smells so strong. Probably people were trying to delicately tell me that I smell too strong. But anyway, I really, really love the rose note in Amouage Epic. The next perfume I'm going to talk about is a little bit controversial because people think it's a dupe. But when I went to the Dries van Noten boutique in Paris, I've told about it in my video what I bought in Paris. I've been given a lot of samples, and one of them was Rose Carnivore by Dries van Noten. And a lot of people think this is a dupe for Le Labo's Rose 31, which is kind of true probably because it's the same perfume creator, Daphne Bougie, and the same notes. So probably it's just the variation, like a Ganymede and Bois Imperial, just a variation of a very famous perfume made for another brand. I'm not sure what was the idea behind it, but I really like this one because it's super dry rose, vetiver-y, woody, and it has a lot of labdanum on the base note. I'm gonna spray it to talk about it more because I don't really remember it. I used it twice in Paris. It was in February. Yeah, so I can really feel how this is very much more modern than Epic or Musc Noble or Portrait of a Lady, which is canonical, like Grandma scent, as we call it with my friend. But this one could be worn by a young person. It's much more vetiver-y. It also has the canonic pink pepper note, which always goes with rose, I think, to spice the things up a little bit. And the pyramid says, rose pink pepper at the top, vetiver and floral note. Which floral? Could you please specify? And patchouli and labdanum in the dry down. And while I really hate patchouli, and I kind of struggled with vetiver after my strong COVID, which I've been bragging about in all of my videos, I really love this one. This is super modern, super youthful. This is not for a classy lady. This is not for lipstick. It's just for the day wear. But I have to remind you that the price of Dries van Noten really bites your wallet, because it's €300 per bottle. I think that the mass market has a lot more useful roses for the young girls, and if you are still not in your 30s, 40s, whatever, you can really find an analog of the scent. And Le Labo is also very expensive. I see some analogs from Agent Provocateur. Sorry, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. So if you look at the similar perfumes section at Fragrantica, I'm pretty much sure that you can find something like this. And while other perfumes by Dries van Noten are really unique, like the Vanille Camouflage I've been talking about, or Soya Malaki, their bestseller, the Cacao masterpiece, this one is just simple and easy. The fifth one I'm going to be talking about is from the brand I never understood, and I don't think I will ever understand. I bought a gift set from them, from my friends. We sniffed it together, then I sniffed it at the perfume meeting, and it's definitely not for me. Serge Lutens. I don't like the aesthetics. I've been to their French shop. Here's the picture, by the way. And it's too dark for me, too gothic. While the smells are not in this aesthetics as well. There's nothing dark to it. This is just regular smells. And I really only had luck with this one, which eventually is a rose. It's called La Fille Tour de Fer, which can be kind of translated as an iron girl, and it seems to be dedicated to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And let me just spray it. I don't really wear it. I just have it, to remind myself about my trip to Paris. And this is the most green rose smell that I ever smelled. There is no wood in it. There is no spices in it. The only things that are in the pyramid are Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, iris, and pink pepper. I generally don't like iris. Iris and patchouli are my most unfavorite notes in the perfumery. But speaking of this one, it kind of has some similarities in the vibe with Vanille Camouflage from Dries van Noten that I spoke a lot about in the Paris video. So it's like when you walk into the flower shop and they have freshly cut flowers, in this case, roses. This is it. This is how it smells. Freshly cut roses with, morning mist that haven't even yet been picked up. It's super clear. It's ethereal. I really, really like this one. I kind of think that someone told me that Serge Lutens has other great florals, but it's not represented that good in Tbilisi. And in Paris, I was so uninspired by the design of the shop that I didn't even give it a try. I just bought my gift set and went away. But anyway, I think that La Fille Tour de Fer, La Fille Tour de Fer, the girl from an iron tower, smells really modern as well, same as Dries van Noten's Rose Carnivore. It's super light. It could be worn on a daily basis, and if you're looking for a light, not a dark, sophisticated, mysterious rose like Amouage or Musc Noble or Portrait of a Lady, probably you should give it a try. Finally, if you watched my early videos, you know I'm a great fan of Matiere Premiere brand, and I have the full bottle of vanilla powder, and I used to have crystal saffron, but I gave it away. And I also have Radical Rose and French Flower from them as shower gels, and I mix them or use them one by one, because the brand only uses the natural ingredients, to some extent. and they have their own laboratory in Grasse, France, and they only use the Grasse Rose Absolute, which is insanely expensive, but really, really good. And if we compare Radical Rose from Matiere Premiere, I would rather say it's in the Musc Noble and Amouage Epic family. It's a dark rose. It has some saffron and patchouli, some brow, spicy edges to it. It's kind of mysterious and, well, sophisticated again. And I really love to use it as an evening shower gel, while I prefer the tuberose French flower for my mornings. I don't really have much to say about Radical Rose because I never wore it as a perfume, but from my relationship with my shower gel, I can say that it stays in your skin forever. And also, buying Matiere Premiere, you can always be sure that the ingredients quality is just perfect. So I would definitely recommend you to give it a try. And they also have insanely cute gift sets with all the small perfume bottles of a squarish shape. I wish I had my crystal saffron with me. I would show you, but you can watch my first video on this channel and get a glimpse of it. I really hope that those who are watching this have their own rose perfumes of which they love. And if you have those, please let me know in the comments down below. And I will link all the perfumes I've been talking about down there. And I will be also really inspired to hear which one of these fragrances you liked, if you will sniff them, or which ones are your favorite. And I will see you in the next video.